Got to get your thoughts on the big game of the weekend before I let you escape. It's at Anfield. It's Liverpool against Arsenal, 12:30 Saturday. Liverpool plus 138, Arsenal plus 265. Nigel, there has been money for Liverpool this week. There were plus 165 ahead of their League Cup win last night. I mean, could this be a title decider? I don't know. If we think City is still going to fade, these are the two most likely to go on and lift the trophy. They've not been in a significant title race between them for a few years. What do you make of this game? If you had a free play, where would it go?
Well, I think that's what you've just sort of touched one of the points I was going to make on there, that these two haven't been involved head to head in a title race for many, many years. And I think could be quite deceptive if you're a stats better, or you're somebody who's sort of using where we are currently in this part of the season. If you're a stats better, you'll be heading to the over 2.5 and over 3.5 and all these kind of markets. I mean, the last 10 matches between these two sides, 7 wins at Anfield for Liverpool, 3 draws. Arsenal haven't won in 10 matches, or 11 matches it would have been. 46 goals in those matches, 4.6. Every single one of the 10 has cashed not only over 2.5, it's cashed over 3.5. But a lot of them matches are when these sides have been 7th, 6th in the table, 5th, 4th, well behind Man City, well behind Man United, well behind Chelsea in title races. This is the real deal now. This is a big match, and they'll know what Aston Villa have done as well, which is a big incentive for them as well. I think we've got to take the mindset of how teams prepare for these matches. So I would expect heavy money for over 3.5, over 2.5. But I'd like to swim against the tide in this one. I mean, we saw last week in the game that everyone predicted goals are Manchester United against Liverpool in 0-0. I'm not saying this will end 0-0, but I think they'll pay too much respect to each other, and I think it could fizzle out to be a non-event. I think if Villa win, which I expect them to win, I think a draw ain't going to be a bad result for these two sides. And if I was given a free bet, I'd probably bet a low-scoring draw, 1-1 draw, something like that. I don't think it's a cigarette paper between these two sides, as you can see in the betting on the outright market. And I just feel that everyone would expect goals. We've had a 4-4 and a 5-5 in the cups between these two as well, not only in the Premier League. So I think the market may just get really carried away, and the stats punters, betters will come out and just go crazy on the stats on the goals. But I think if you break down the importance of this match, with Man City not playing as well, I think I think this is a do not lose match for both sides rather than go out and win it. So I would probably swim against the tide and go on the under 2.5.
Yeah, 1-1 is plus 575, incidentally, under 2.5 plus 123. Jack, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was smiling along to that because it's pretty much everything that I was thinking of as well. I actually nearly looked at this one. Under 3 goal line was kind of I was toying with, and the prices just didn't quite stack up for me. But I'd done a little bit of some say stats as such for this season. That you look at the big games this season: Arsenal City, Villa Arsenal, Newcastle Arsenal, City Newcastle, all ended 1-0. So tends to be the case that it's that fear of losing in it, and also the respect shown to the other side. When it comes down to sort of top 4 title contenders, then it absolutely does kind of take the sting out of it. And yeah, I mentioned Liverpool, they had 34 shots against Man United, but that was an average of XG of 0.07. So they've got a little bit of a habit at the moment of just taking these pot shots. And sometimes they go in, like we saw last night with Szoboszlai, with that great strike from outside the box. But more often than not, they don't. And I think Arsenal have got a good enough defensive shape in possession and out of possession that they could nullify this sort of misfiring Liverpool attack. I know they got 5 last night, but we're struggling to see them get the best out of Nunez. Salah's having a little bit of an indifferent run at this moment in time. So yeah, for me, similar pattern. 1-1 was my draw prediction. I fancy a draw or an Arsenal win in it, if anything, to be fair.
One thing I would
Yeah,
say
I'm
as well,
just
Dan, I think that the other thing is here. I mean, so I'm slightly disagreeing with Jack here. I think Arsenal will go for a draw. I think it'll be a Liverpool comprehensive win, or it'll be a draw. I don't really fancy Arsenal for the win. That's my perspective, my sort of reasoning and prediction of the match. But the one thing I do think will happen, I think that Liverpool will come out fast. I think it will be an absolute electric atmosphere for 15 minutes. I think Liverpool will come out fast, and Liverpool will try to blow them away. I've seen Liverpool blow Arsenal away inside 15 minutes at Anfield before. Going back over time, they've done it in 15, 20 minutes. And I think the bet here is if it's 0-0 after 15 to 20 minutes, start betting the unders at -110, minus 120, -1, that kind of market, because I think once we get on with the game and it goes deeper, I think both teams will come tactically more, and not the chances will sort of not come about. I think both sides will come a little bit more happy with the point. So my betting strategy here would be to leave it until 15, 20 minutes in, because I think Liverpool will come out fast, really fast, and I think they'll put the pressure on the Arsenal goalkeeper straight away. And I think he's the weak link.
Yeah, it's interesting because Arsenal started fast, didn't they, last season, raced to a 2-0 advantage, then got pegged back 2-2. And we've seen Liverpool do something similar, but Liverpool were in a very different place then. So you've got to think of the game state. You've got to think of the state of the title race as well, and the positions that these two teams are in. The boys, a little bit counterintuitive to the recent stats, are looking for unders and maybe 1-0s either way. And certainly in play, if it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, maybe we start to get unders and 0-0s on the correct score. It's going to be a fascinating watch nonetheless. That is 12:30 Eastern on Saturday.